Today's show is sponsored by Profit Accumulator, the #1 match betting service in the UK. Match betting is different to gambling. With gambling, you bet on one side, and if that side loses, you lose. With match betting, you bet on both sides. That means no matter what the outcome, you're a winner. When you sign up to Profit Accumulator, they will walk you through the whole process of how to do match betting, and as long as you follow what they tell you, you cannot lose. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description right now for your free trial, and you can start earning some real cash.
Hi and welcome to AFTV. You've tuned into the stats review show, or the fun facts review show, whatever you tickles your fancy you can choose. But I'm buzzing. It was a 3-0 win, and boy, we got in late. We got in late from the studio, and we got up nice and early for you guys to give you all the stats. And there's a lot today. We're going to rattle through them, so make sure you stay fully involved. I just want to start by saying as well, Blue Monday quickly changed into Red Monday real quick.
It really did.
Didn't it? Did.
It really did. We were good yesterday. We were good. Yes.
Yeah. I think they got a lot of stick. Well, not a lot of stick, but I think people thought they were deceived by the first half, thinking it was boring. But in hindsight, when I rewatched the game, it was a good game. I think it was coming from the beginning, if I'm honest. But we'll get into it. We're going to go straight into. I think we're going to start with the starting 11, and we can talk about how we felt when we saw it, and which is actually very clear, guys, from the watch along that me and James were involved in. But I'll let James lead. Start the starting 11.
No, you're right. It was mentioned in my fan cam with Robbie. Well, obviously, me and you in particular were really happy. Well, I say in particular, probably the only ones actually were really happy when we saw Cedric in the starting 11.
Yeah. When
we were asked about it, I don't think we really had a real reason other than he's looked good. He's had a lot of stick for no reason. And he came in and he absolutely proved his worth, and I'm super happy for him. Again, mentioned it in my fan cam that he just looks a more complete right back than the other options. Not saying he's better on the ball or better defensively than Maitland-Niles. Not saying he's faster and more incisive in the final third than Bellerin. I'm not saying those things. I just think he's got the qualities to do both. You can rely on him defensively and going forward. And I thought he did really well, and good to see Holding and Louise keeping their place as well, because I think they've both been playing well. We know Gabriel's a very good player. He's looked really good since he signed. But in fairness, I think they deserve their place.
Yes, James, I'm going to quickly touch on the formation there. Cedric, again, you said it all. I don't even say any more on it. That was literally how we've been feeling, both of us, throughout the whole time. I'm going to be honest. Aubameyang, I want to see Martinelli. I'm going to be completely honest, but that's football. He proved himself, and I'm as happy for him as I'm sure he's happy for himself for getting them goals. So listen, big up. He took them really well, and as much as this show is going to be, we're going to speak about a lot of players. I'm just have to say honourable mention to Aubameyang, because unfortunately the focus wasn't on him today for me for this show. But credit to him, had a great game, got his goals. So yeah,
that's it. That's interesting, because I felt I felt we were all saying that Aubameyang shouldn't start the game, but he went and got 2 goals, and that's what you can get. I mean, with Aubameyang, even though I want to see Martinelli, I'm never disappointed when I see Aubameyang in the 11, because I know what he's capable of.
Agreed.
Let's have a look at the match stats, because you said a really good point there in your intro before, that actually the first half, I think because we hadn't scored, we were sitting there thinking, oh, same old Arsenal. But in reality, I don't think it was as bad. I think we were on the front foot. We were totally dominant. We maybe didn't create that many great chances, but at least we looked dangerous. There was one that fell to Aubameyang. I felt we looked a little better. Louise's header from the corner. There were moments in that first half. We just didn't get the goal. And I think if we were 1 or 2 up at half time, we might have reflected on it being a really good half. But throughout the 90, 20 shots to their 4, 6 shots on target to their 1, 14 shots in the box. That is impressive, to their 3. As you can see, we had 2/3 of the possession and a much better XG as well. Just a word on Newcastle, because we won't talk about them too much, but they were poor, weren't they? And those stats show it. Yeah,
they really were. And I'm not going to talk too long on them either, because if you haven't seen, check the pre-match build-up show. We literally spoke about them for the majority of the show, which is what we should do anyway. Look at our opponents, and we kind of broke down what we expected to see. And I don't hate doing that corny thing of we said, but we spoke about it already. So they were poor.
It's true, and I felt they did want to have a little bit more of a go at us. I thought in the first half they were getting up the pitch more and trying to commit more numbers forward, but they were
Yeah.
still pretty toothless, I must say. And that first half, as you said, it wasn't anything special, but it also wasn't as bad as I think a lot of us felt it was. I think we were just so desperate to see us score and start well and start quickly that we were hoping into the trying to claw something out of it. But in the reality, it wasn't a bad half.
Exactly, and James, just to add on to that before we move on, is Aubameyang had a chance in the first half. He takes it, then I would say it's a good half. Like it's how you want to go in, 1-0 at half time, and we were at them. I think Cedric as well. He played plenty of good crosses in the box in the first half. So listen, it wasn't as bad. Yeah, it wasn't as bad as everyone was made out. I think we're used to seeing, like you said, same old Arsenal. We go result back to that as fans. But it was listen, it was a good first half in the end.
I completely agree. And on Aubameyang, you just mentioned, obviously he did break the deadlock on 50 minutes. So happy for him, because I was saying in the build-up show how he looks awkward when he comes on his left foot, and this was different though. This was him running as an inside forward at the defender. It wasn't a case of him being a winger having to revert to his left foot. You know, in that situation, the best thing was that he had a choice. He could either try and cut inside and hit it with his right, but he felt that the gap in the space was to take him sort of directly on the outside of the defender and get that left-footed effort at goal. A stat that I thought was quite impressive. Obviously, he scored 2 goals. He had 5 shots more than any other player. He had 2 shots on target, which was the same as Bukayo Saka, who also had 2. But he also had 10 touches in Newcastle's penalty area, which was more than any other player. So he was ranking really high for these things. Obviously, the goals, but the shots on target, touches in the box. He was looking dangerous again, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. And what you said there, as a striker, when he was running down, he was running down the wing, and he shot with his left and took it with his left instead of his right. If you revert back to the game, if you guys remember, if you was watching, he tried to do the open out and put it use his right before he took the goal. And I was like, he's done that in many games. It hasn't been working. It keeps going wide past the post. I think the accuracy is not what it used to be. So when he took it with his left, and he just smashed it really, and it went in. I think that done him a load of good. And then I think the confidence starts to build, and luck falls your way, because his second goal was kind of it was a reactionary goal, really, just reaction.
You're right. And do you know what I like about that first goal? And I absolutely do not mean this as a criticism. I mean as a positive. Michael Owen, I remember him on Gary Neville's Soccer Box once saying that as a striker, a lot of the time, sometimes you don't think about where you're placing it. It's actually just a case of hitting it well. If you hit it well, but not too well, you'll get it kind of either side of the keeper and whatever. And I think in that position, Aubameyang thought, let me just hit this nicely. And there was a little bit of slice, and I don't think that was intentional. You know, basically what I'm trying to say is, you can say it was kind of lucky, but I don't think it was, because I think the intention just hit it well and just put some real power behind it. And most of the time it's going to go in from that position. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You know, I think there's an element of luck in the strike, but I think that's intentional, if you get what I'm trying to say. So good on him.
Yeah, good on him.
I thought he was good, and I'm so glad to see him back on the score sheet. We seem to be flying through these, but as you can see, guys, there's a lot to chat about.
A lot.
And one of the things we're going to focus on a lot now, we're going to break it between us. We're going to talk through our Starboys, me and you.
Our Starboys.
I know. I'll start because I have to.
I love this.
Here they are, Bukayo Saka and Smith Rowe. Oh, just another great performance from both of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, 64 touches to 60. Pass accuracy very high. A goal for one, an assist for the other. 4 key passes for Smith Rowe, and 3 for Saka. But it was a case of they were having an impact in the final third. They looked really dangerous. 3 and 4 key passes was the most of any other player on the pitch. Those 2 ranked the highest, which was great. But just focus on Smith Rowe a little bit more. Here's his touch map. He's playing on the right-hand side a lot, linking with Saka as well, which is great. And the best thing about his goal was that actually the link-up came... Sorry, not his goal. Saka's goal was that the link-up came from the left. So, you know, the 2 of them were on a wavelength. They understand how to play with each other. You'll talk about Saka a little bit more in a minute, but I do just want to bring up this. Smith Rowe has either scored with 2 or assisted with 5 in 7 of his last 10 appearances for Arsenal in all competitions. He's provided 2 more assists than any other player for the Gunners this campaign with 5. And then I love this one as well. Only Bruno Fernandes with 12 has created more chances for his side than Emil Smith-Rowe with 10 since his first Premier League start of the season versus Chelsea. That's
that's
a good
amazing.
stat.
This is facts, people. This is stats. Before people get us and be like, "Oh my God, you're comparing. He's Bruno and Emil."
I don't even care. I don't even care. Compare him. I don't care. He was really good.
He's great. Listen, so I want to do my side now because if you guys have been with us from the beginning, James has been screaming for Emil Smith-Rowe. I've been a fan of Saka from when he first stepped onto the pitch for Arsenal. So it's like, this is just the perfect game where they came together. And I want you guys to also, if you haven't seen it, when they're leaving the pitch after the game, they're literally just clapping hands, bantering as they're walking off. It's such an amazing chemistry. And I honestly love their link up. And I'm now going to get into the stats. So let me just go into it. So we've got obviously Saka's heat map here. James alluded to Emil Smith-Rowe's heat map. It was heavily to the right. They were linking up throughout the game. But what I like as well is the balance with Emil Smith-Rowe. He's more spread to both sides. But Saka here dominated the right. With him, Cedric and Emil Smith-Rowe, listen, down that right side was dangerous. And I remember in the watch long, I was screaming, right, we keep going down the left side. So this is why I had to bring up the heat map, because I was fascinated by how heavily dominated the right side was as well. I kept saying that Aubameyang was getting slipped in. He had many chances down the left, but we was just as deadly down the right. So big up to Saka. There's some stats I wanted to touch on as well. He had 3 good crosses, 3 from open play. These were the highest bar Cedric, actually. So yeah, and big up. His crossing, I think, was really good. Created loads of chances for us. And now I'm going to have to bring this stat up as well. Oh, wait, this one's already been... Sorry, wrong one. This one. Forgive me, that was James' one.
There's so many good stats. Let's just go through them all again.
So many fun facts. I'm having so much fun. Right, let me bring up this one. Only Nicolas Anelka with 30, Cesc Fabregas 28, and Theo Walcott with 12 have been involved in more Premier League goals for Arsenal as a teenager than Bukayo Saka, with 11, 5 goals and 6 assists. I mean, that is not bad company to be around, James. Like, those are some big names, and he deserves to be there. I think he's been outstanding. And Saka, if you're watching, I'm sure you already know I'm a fan. But yeah, the Starboys and Emil Smith-Rowe, they came out to play yesterday, and we just want to see more of it. And it gives us as fans a bigger boost that they've come from Hairlens. So listen, big up both of them. Yeah. So
those are some big names, as you said, and some big numbers as well. And
100%.
that's what's so impressive about him and Smith-Rowe. I've seen a lot of youngsters come through and play really well, but the numbers weren't necessarily there. I'll give you an example. Jack Wilshere. I am as big a Jack Wilshere fan as you'll ever see. I absolutely loved him as a player. I wanted to keep him when he left. I felt he still had something to offer. I kind of think he still now does. And congrats, by the way, Jack, on his signing for Bournemouth. Really happy he's signed for a good side. Obviously, he's been there before. But his numbers weren't there. And Smith-Rowe and Saka's are, and that's really, really impressive. And young players, like, just looking at other young wingers who have really thrived of late, Sancho, Sterling, you know, players that Saka will kind of look up to, maybe. I don't know, I would assume. Their numbers are very good. And that's I think, the difference between the creme de la creme of wingers and very good wingers. It's, you got the trickery, you got the skill, you can make things happen. But are the numbers there as well? Are you getting the assists? Are you getting the goals? And that's what's so impressive. He's doing it from the right wing. Well, we thought he'd look more uncomfortable than on the left. But no, if anything, he's looking more comfortable. And that right-hand side looks so much more functioning now, with Smith-Rowe helping out, with Saka obviously there as our main right winger, and Cedric, who we're going to talk about in a sec, who was really, really good. God, love this guy already.
Listen, it makes me happy, because he had doubters. He had doubt. I don't know why.
He had so many people wrote him off immediately. People wrote him off for no reason. I'm all fine with people having a footballing opinion that's different to mine. Some people love Xhaka. I'm not as convinced about him. Some people love Bellerin. Some people love other players, and I'll debate with them. But I wouldn't tolerate the opinions I was getting about Cedric, because I'm thinking, what is it based on? What is it based on? So that was infuriating. But the right hand side, as we said, has been more functioning. And let's have a little look why. I mean, how about that for a heat map? I mean, that's pretty. You were the one who found this, Cecil. I mean, that is. That shows you how involved he was, as much going forward as he was defensively. I thought he was absolutely superb. Dominated a few little back heels through the legs, and the assist was obviously great. But let's have a little look at this. 90 touches. That was the third most of any player on the pitch, by the way.
Wow.
That's a good pass accuracy, 87%. 8 crosses, all 8 coming from open play.
The highest amount as well there.
Which, by the way, I'm going to say I'm a little skeptical of that total crosses and the total crosses being the same as open play crosses, because there was a wonderful cross from a free kick. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm not sure how that's sort of ranked in the stats, but let's remember that was a very good set piece he took as well. 11 duels, which I believe was the joint most as well. I think I should probably just double check that really quickly. Duels, well, whatever. But yes, he ranked very highly in that. But also he lost possession 18 times. Now, what's quite interesting about that was he lost it more than any other player. And we talked Kieran Tierney. Kieran Tierney's been having very similar numbers, but still been playing really, really well. The two of them lose possession a lot. But I think that is kind of credit to them for how much they're trying to do the right thing, and how, you know what, sometimes it doesn't come off. And so it looks like you've lost possession. But actually, we will tolerate losing possession when you're trying to make things happen. You're trying to be dangerous,
100%.
you know?
James, I've listen, everything I wanted to say in that section, that was perfectly put. Thank you so much. I sound like Ty. Thank you, James. But guys. That is it. I thought, if I did research all the stats of Cedric yesterday as well as James, and I said we have to have give him his mention, and he's given him his flowers. But I was going to leave out the possession lost, because I was like, oh, that makes it look negative. However, you're so right. Kieran Tierney, if you guys, obviously we get the stats saying if he loses the ball or gets possession lost a lot of the time, normally he's the highest. However, we're not bothered because he normally has such a great game. And again, it kind of links well with Cedric there, because he had such a great game yesterday, even though he was the highest player to lose the ball. So,
yeah. If you're trying to make things happen, you're probably going to lose the ball a lot. Bruno Fernandes loses the ball a lot because he's also making things happen. But it doesn't matter, because you see good crosses, you see crosses causing defenders problems and making them react, and you're getting in their penalty area. Now that might count as possession lost, but I also see that as attacking initiative. So really good on Cedric. I thought he played really well. I hope he keeps his place for the key matches. Would I rest him in the FA Cup game? Don't think he needs a rest, but maybe that's an opportunity to play Bellerin, and then he plays against Southampton, his former team, on Tuesday night, maybe. So decisions for Mikel. I want to end on these two.
Have to get mentioned.
Partey and Xhaka. They were very good in the middle. Obviously, Partey did come off with maybe half an hour to go, maybe a little bit less. But again, ranking high for touches, for duels. They only conceded a foul between them. That's really good.
Which is very good. Yeah, I just want to quickly touch on that, because I said at one point I was curious about John Joe Shelvey and Xhaka going blow to blow. I thought they were going to start. They're quite fiery characters, but listen, you have to credit Xhaka when he deserves it. Kept his head. There wasn't really any. Yeah, he was very professional in his game. There wasn't any moments so I thought, oh no, Xhaka, don't do it. So big up to him. He had a good game. Again.
Yeah, agreed. And again, Partey was spraying all sorts of passes forward and getting us up the pitch, but still had a 95% pass accuracy. I said to Robbie in my fan cam, don't think he ever got out of second gear. That game was so easy for him. He walked it. He absolutely walked it. I think, and I think subconsciously, not consciously, because I think he's professional, but I think subconsciously he was thinking, breeze. Who's this? Shelvey, Longstaff, who? Easy. And I honestly think he just absolutely walked it, because he's a level above all this. Honestly,
100%, and
he's a Champions League player.
Fact, and it exudes from him. Like, if I can imagine being on the pitch with him, you'd think, I've got Partey, but I don't even need to worry. He's he's chilled. Like, let me go do what I want to do. He doesn't seem fazed by any of this. Yeah. So honestly, for the team, having him in is massive. And
no one's going to really know what I'm talking about here, but maybe they can identify with it a little bit. I played central midfield when I was playing sort of Sunday football, and I played at a all right level, whatever I could play. But I remember one year in particular, I played with a central midfielder who dominated. You know, when you're kind of 14, 15, and people are sort of growing, and some are becoming men, some are still kids. And I played next to a guy who he was an adult already. He was our age, he was an adult already. And I loved it, because I was like, right, you do all that stuff, all the running and everything. You're really good at that. Like, dominate, and I'll just do the pretty stuff. And it was just an absolute pleasure because he dominated. He ran the game, and that was Thomas Partey yesterday. Just one step ahead of everyone, faster than everyone, stronger than everyone, without doing it in any. It wasn't even in a particularly extravagant fashion. He wasn't even that spectacular. You could just see that he had so many more levels to get to. And the last stat I'll say on them, Xhaka regained possession 15 times now. I think I've heard this rumor, so I've not had it confirmed, but I think that was more than maybe any other player for Arsenal this season in a game. I think I might have heard more than any other player in a match in the league this season, but I would double check that, guys. But very impressive. Partey and Holding were then second place with 9 each. And I wanted to get that in as a separate stat because credit to Holding, who I think's looked really, really good recently. Louise was good as well. But Holding, I thought, was terrific again yesterday. Really did his job well. And it's not as easy when you're on the front foot and players can come at you the other way and they got 2 up front, but I felt he marshalled them superbly.
Agreed.
And just I could say a word on all the players. Tierney never had a bad game. It didn't have a bad game, but others stood out. But it was really impressive, Arsenal. Well done.
It really was. It was a pleasure to watch in the end. And I just wanted to say again, like James said, we could mention every player, but we focused on certain players today and we gave them their flowers. But that doesn't mean the rest of the team.
Lacazette's work rate. Lacazette's work rate again. Superb.
Yeah, superb. And I've given players like Xhaka, I've given Holding criticism in the past, but they stepped up. I hope they keep their shirts. I don't feel nervous now when I see them on the team sheet, and I think that's a bonus. As long as they've got certain players around them, I'm happy. So, listen, credit to Arsenal. I hope we continue this form, and just people watching, they're probably gonna be like, it's only Newcastle. Don't get ahead of yourselves. We're aware of the competition, but what we saw was the right direction for Arsenal, and I'm happy for them. Hopefully, it continues. Thank you for watching this Fun Facts review show. The Fun Facts review show. I hope this made your day a bit more fun. Make sure you take them in, share it with your friends, make sure you hit the like, and we'll see you soon. Thank you very much.
Today's show is sponsored by Profit Accumulator, the #1 match betting service in the UK. Match betting is different to gambling. With gambling, you bet on one side, and if that side loses, you lose. With match betting, you bet on both sides. That means no matter what the outcome, you're a winner. When you sign up to Profit Accumulator, they will walk you through the whole process of how to do match betting, and as long as you follow what they tell you, you cannot lose. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description right now for your free trial, and you can start earning some real cash.